Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about what to use for punch needle. So more specifically, this is what I use for punch needle. I'm going to show you a few pieces. Everything's going to be linked down below, and also I'm going to link my blog post, which you can find on my website, that has everything linked, more than what you can see in the video. And my main thing to say is this is what works for me and for what I use. You need to make sure you're matching up the right supplies that you have, because not every cloth, needle and yarn work well together. You have to experiment, and you'll also find that things do cross over, and you can use, if you've got multiple different needles, you can have different yarns and all that stuff. You can work it all out, but it's all good. So I will start here with the punch needle. So the punch needles that I use mostly, if I'm doing small mug rugs, I go for the laver punch needle. It's this little adjustable needle, and I do have this set to 2.5, and it comes with 3 needle heads, and this one is the 3mm, so the biggest of the 3 that it comes with. Millwood's punch needle, so as you can see, it's chunkier, it's bigger, it's 5mm in diameter, and yeah, this is just for your acrylic yarn, your bigger pieces, your bigger projects. And then cloth. So the most popular type of cloth for punch needle is monk's cloth, and it is what I use mostly. So I have this type, as you can see, and then sometimes I buy what's called tufting cloth, because I also rug tuft. Now it's pretty much monk's cloth, just has the weaves a bit bigger, so therefore the gaps are a bit bigger, so it can be a bit trickier when you're using the smaller punch needle, but with a bit of practice you can still make use of it. And this has the guidelines on it. You can also use things like linen, cotton, I think muslin some people use, but again, it depends on your needle. If you're using cotton, especially because it's a tighter weave, you're going to want a smaller, sharper needle than what you might use. So like this wouldn't work, for example. You're just going to make holes and it's going to be really, really tough. Frames and hoops. Now I use a plethora of different frames and hoops. I use hoops if I've got any offcuts, so I save all my offcuts of fabric, and therefore I use either my tiny hoop or I have this bigger hoop. This for like car coasters, this for mug rugs, just saves all your scraps and you can utilize them. If I'm not using a hoop, I'm using a wooden frame. Each of my frames are from different things. So one has been built way back when I was in school. It's just 4 pieces of wood, that's the one I'll show you. Second one is an old picture frame. You just take out the glass, take out any photo and just use the wood. And the third one is fashioned from a cupboard door. So again, just 4 pieces of wood put together, and then all you do is you staple your cloth onto it. That way you can take it off, reuse it. You can see the wood under the masking tape here. So it's literally just 4 pieces of good chunky wood. And then I've just stapled the cloth on, add some masking tape to stop all the fraying bits go everywhere, because you'll get that with monk's cloth. And then yeah, you can make it as tight as you need to, and it's perfect and it's ready to go. You don't have to adjust it, it's all good. I would recommend making your own frame if you can, because if you're going to buy it, they can be quite expensive in comparison to just making it yourself. And then yeah, just stapling it and unstapling it as you go. Punch needle it's very difficult if you don't get the right combination. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of experimentation to find what does work. Now what I found works for me, so if we're talking about the 3mm, first of all, the little laver punch needle, you're going to want either a double knit cotton or a double knit acrylic. Each of those yarns are going to give a different type of texture. So cotton is very tight, very small, very neat. Acrylic is a lot fluffier. So depending on what you're making, depends how the outcome's going to be. So you can easily start with a double knit cotton, 100%. This is by Rico. Great, loads of colours, good selection, really good, and I think you can get them in a bit of a bigger size as well. This is just the small 25-gram size. Then one of my favourites is Paintbox by Lovecrafts. You can only get this on Lovecrafts, this brand. Again, it's a cotton double knit, loads and loads of colours, really useful. Then if you have a hobbycraft near you, you can get hold of this cotton blend plain. I've noticed there's not been many colours in stock recently, or the stock's been really bad. This is a 50% acrylic, 50% cotton. Works well with the laver punch needle. It's thicker than 100% cotton, so it's going to work up quicker. Great for your backgrounds or mug rugs. But yeah, just be aware that it is a bit thicker. And then one of my newer found brands, Serda Stories. These are really nice to work with. So these are, I think they're 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. So they're more cotton than acrylic. They're soft. Again, they're a little bit thicker. Not as thick as the Hobbycraft, but work well for backgrounds. Really nice texture and really nice to work with. And all the colours have like fancy names. Like this one's called Glamping, for example. But yeah, really recommend this one. Again, like always, everything's going to be linked in the bottom. They are affiliate links, just to let you know. And if you've got any questions, feel free to ask and I can try and help out. Felt was simple. I use black or white felt to back everything. Thicker than craft felt, which is really good because you want it to be a bit more durable, and fairly simple. That's what I back all pretty much everything with. Get some good fabric scissors, really good, especially cutting felt and stuff. And then you could also get hold of these. They're called pinking shears. Now these are to cut fabric and also stop them from fraying. Now it does work with things like cotton, but monk's cloth still does fray, but it doesn't fray as much as if you were to cut it with normal scissors. But no matter what you do with monk's cloth I always recommend just masking taping the outside because they fray everywhere. Little pot, catching all your scraps, use that for stuffing, something later on. Find a use for all your little yarn scraps. Something to draw around. So I use this for my mug coasters. You can see it's filthy. This is the perfect size that I use, so that all my mug coasters come out pretty much the same size. And then I literally just use this, don't have to use any floppy paper, don't have to try and freehand it, I've just got this ready to go. Get yourself some tweezers that you use for punch needle, because when you finish your project you can turn them over, you can move your loops easily, you can unloop any colours that I've looped together and just rearrange everything, especially details, so that everything is in the right place. Glue. For backing your projects to give them the extra level of protection before putting the felt on, I just use simple craft glue, PVA glue, school glue, whichever you want to use. Just doesn't have to be anything fancy, just gives it an extra level of protection so the loops don't come out easily, and it dries quick and clear, so it's a great option. That's like the basis of stuff that you need. Like I say, the blog post will have even more things like my hot glue gun, lint rollers, attachments, all different things like that. But otherwise, this is pretty much the basis for what you need, and what I would suggest if you have the punch needles that I have. Don't get disheartened if it's not working. The chances are it's one of your materials that isn't working with your others. It's not you. I mean, it could be, but the chances are it's going to be the supplies that you're using. And it just maybe one needs to be tweaked, try out something different, and hopefully it will work. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps. Please do like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. And yeah, I'll be making more and I'll be back soon.